Oh, hello, folks. This is Steve AB4L. Nothing in this episode is a promotion nor is it a recommendation. And I'm saying that because there's going to be at least one brand name mentioned. You know, I really like Google Street View because it can take you to a lot of places. Before I was scrolling down here on slashdot.org, News for Nerds. Waymo. I, I got my driver's license when I was 16 years old. My first car, which I paid for in cash after working in the A&P, saving up my money, taking the cash every week and putting it in a drawer, got enough money. I forget what I paid, $600 for a 1949 four-door sedan with a V8 engine. Not an inline six. That was the first year of that model engine block. It was a big transition. Actually, the car I'm driving, the Mercury Sable or the whatever the Ford is, that was a big transition to electronic ignition and stuffed the engine in the front wheel drive and transmission. Waymo driverless car strikes bicyclist in San Francisco, causes minor injury. The incident, which was first reported by Reuters at 3:02 p.m. February 6th, today is the 7th, at the intersection of 17th and Mississippi Streets in the Potrero Hill neighborhood of San Francisco. A Google Maps street view of the intersection shows a flat, well-lit area surrounded by warehouses with unprotected bike lanes on both streets. I don't even know what unprotected bike lanes. I know what bike lanes are, but I don't know what unprotected bike lanes mean. Does that mean there's a barrier? I remember the first bicycle I actually tried to ride. It belonged to Colette, who lived next door. She let me try it. I didn't even know how to pedal. Sort of, yes, I fell off. But when I got my first Columbia bike, I went everywhere with it. Oh, excuse me. So, the autonomous vehicle had struck a cyclist who only reported non-life-threatening injuries. A passenger in the Waymo vehicle at the time, see, driverless, was a taxi, of the crash was uninjured. The incident is under investigation. Well, you can read it yourself. 17th and Mississippi Streets. So I just take the whole thing and I say Google search. And they know where it is. There's the street view. Now remember they said that there are warehouses. Well, there's one. Now they didn't say which way the vehicle was going, but we want to get a look. So this is a long street. Yep, that's a long street. It goes over, and this way has a dead end at that end, it looks like, but that's long. Okay. Now, oh, there's the bicycle lane. See, it doesn't do any good to try to make it bigger. Now, Do you see how that building changed? And the truck is parked in the parking lane, and this is a bicycle lane. So this is a protected, I'm going to guess, this is a protected bicycle lane, but the other side of the street only has a parking lane. Here's a guy on the bicycle. Now, this view is January 2023. So we'll say it's a year old. Here's a guy on a bicycle crossing the intersection, and he's in a protected lane once he gets through the intersection. See what I mean? There's an end of a street here. So this is was an alleyway, dead-end street. And this is January 2023. So the vehicle with the street view was going this way. It says stop, there's a stop sign. I can see a stop sign there. The warehouse here. I'm looking, oh, there's a stop sign on this post. This figures into it. There's the stop sign. So we go back into the intersection, and I can see a stop sign over there. I can see the stop sign there. Let's turn around. There's the stop sign. And on the left side is a protected bicycle lane. Oh, that's interesting. Did I get that wrong? There's a protected bicycle lane on the right side of the street here, but not on the left. There's a stop sign there. See it? There it is. This is the fairly up to date. There's a vehicle making a turn. Now that has something to do with it. So I don't get that exactly. The protected bicycle lane, if you're going this way, is only on that side, but when you do you see it? Now there's the protected bicycle lane because they mentioned it. Oh no. No, wait a minute. Hang on. You know what it is? This is probably in one of the older parts of the city, because you can see there's a protected bicycle lane up to here. There's all these, this is the first time I'm looking this far. I'm guessing these, you can rent them. These are electric bikes. So there's a bicycle lane here on both sides. Somebody is doing something with a bike there. There's a kiosk here. This is the first time I'm looking. We got the trees there, but there's something about, this is a warehouse district. There's a protected bike lane. Oh, I see. Somehow the street narrows as it comes to the intersection because or they didn't paint the protected lane. And then it continues on the other side, but there is none. I think this is the older part of the city, and I'll tell you what I think confirms that. The name is Mississippi. If you think of the history of the United States and how we got additional sections added onto the country, California was in the Union before, like Oregon. Mississippi was a part of the Confederacy. So I'm guessing that after the Civil War, people from Mississippi came here to this section of the growing San Francisco, and they named the street, which was probably a dirt track at the time, and it's right by a river or an overhead. Oh, that's an expressway. Excuse me. That's the expressway we can see down there. Okay, now wait a minute. Let's go back to the description. Someone speaking for the Waymo company said, the Waymo vehicle was stopped at a four-way stop. Okay, we know it was a four-way stop, but we don't know which street and which way it was facing. As an oncoming large truck, it's a warehouse district, as an oncoming large truck began to turn into the intersection. So we come to a stop, and a big truck comes here on the other side and begins to turn. And there's all right, we're the Waymo, I'm just guessing, stopped at the stop sign, and there's a truck that's gotten to the stop sign on the other side a few seconds ahead and is already starting to turn. The Waymo vehicle stopped at a four-way stop as an oncoming large truck began to turn into the intersection. The vehicle, meaning the Waymo driverless robot, waited until its turn and then also began to proceed through the intersection, failing to notice the cyclist who was traveling behind the truck. The cyclist was occluded. What does that mean? Hidden. Sometimes the moon during the day occludes the sun fully or partially, and that's called an eclipse. Somebody talking for the Waymo people is using this big word, astronomical term. The cyclist was occluded by the truck, and the cyclist quickly followed behind it, meaning behind the truck, crossing into the Waymo's vehicle's path. So the Waymo vehicle is at the stop line, like this view. That vehicle there is making a left turn, to its left across our lane into the warehouse street to the right. It's a big truck. There's a cyclist in the cycles. We can't tell but it was behind the truck. And the Waymo vehicle thought that since the truck was, I'm going to say it, I'm going to guess, almost out of the intersection, it hit the gas. And the big truck had fascinated it so much, it didn't notice that there was a human there too, occluded. I don't think it can work the way they're saying, the way that spokesperson is saying. I don't think it works that way. But I'm basing it on me sitting here like this. I'm thinking of a big trailer truck making a turn across my view, and the Waymo decided that once the trucks was almost, you see how it must have happened? It's the end of the truck is actually not out of the intersection yet, and the Waymo hits the gas. We got to get the passenger there. I'm guessing. Let's think of it the other way. The trailer truck makes a turn across our view and is already 20 feet down the street, all of it. It's already out of the intersection. We've got a clear view, and somebody else is in the intersection. But notice how they said this. It says that with unprotected bike lanes on both streets, the Waymo vehicle stopped at a four-way stop as an oncoming large truck began to turn into the intersection. The vehicle, meaning the Waymo vehicle, waited until it was its turn. That's not how four-ways work. There's no quotes on this, so I don't know where they got that phrase. It waited until its turn and then also began to proceed through the intersection. If the truck was already out of the intersection, then it should have clearly seen the bicyclist. Or you're saying that it started into the intersection and the bicyclist made a sudden left turn that it shouldn't have because the bicyclist didn't see the Waymo? We could think of it that way. The bicyclist is at fault. Maybe that's why the bicyclists picked themselves up and got the hell out of there. Because in fact, they just suddenly decided to turn left right in the front of the Waymo. Do bicyclists do stupid things like that? The answer is yes. When I worked for a big internationally known, internationally operating IT company, I was a software tester, and there was a guy that I occasionally had interaction with. This is when I lived in Raleigh, and I know that he lived in Cary, which is the next town, all built up now. He was a developer. He wrote code, and I knew him because sometimes I would say, there's a bug in what you wrote. I'm a software tester. And I can tell you how shocking it was. It was a winter night. It was like now. It was after dark. He was on a main highway in Cary. There was oncoming traffic, and apparently he thought that he could turn left into a street he needed to go in the face of oncoming traffic, and they ran him down. No, he didn't survive. Can a bicyclist make an impulsive left turn when they shouldn't have? So actually, I started out and the portrayal seemed to be, it's the Waymo that's the fault. But the fact is, just drawing from my own, somebody I knew who no longer is with us, didn't come into work the following Monday, and that's when we found out that he had cut in front of oncoming traffic impulsively, apparently, after dark, winter like this, and they ran him down, and it was his fault. So from the description we have in the look of the street, it could be either way. And I'm suspicious if the person on the bicycle just decided to get up and get out of there. And we know that bicycles are a thing right there, aren't they? When I started this, I didn't know those were there. So there's one more thing I want to show you. So this article is from The Verge. Now, the picture they're using, which I guess this is a Waymo car, that must be the radar up there. You know this picture has nothing to do with the actual intersection. This is a lesson in be careful. I can hear a siren. It's either EMS or it's a sheriff's car. The incident, which was first reported by Reuters, so you see they quoted from this on February 6th at the intersection of 17 and Mississippi Street, a Google Maps street view of the intersection. He's going to go by. It's getting louder. I think it's EMS. Hang on. It's EMS. They're taking somebody to the hospital. I can see out the window. Must have had the green light, because when they don't have the green light, actually it wasn't going very fast. When a person's life may be at stake, they go through the light and they've got really bigger lights than what they had there, and they got all kinds of horns going, telling people, don't get in front of us. This person's life's at stake. We're going through the red. Yes, they slow down some, but they don't stop. A Google Maps street view of the intersection shows a flat. Okay, so they quoted that. Now, I went to the Google Street View. How? I did this, right? And I said Google search. But there's a link here. And I want to show you what happens. I want to see if what happens here is what happened on the other machine when I was reading the article originally. Oh, it did it. This is also a take-home lesson. Who is this? This is one of my protectors. It's called irfanview. Actually, I'm going to bleep that out. This extension prevented the following page from loading. Now, what they've got is the full URL, but the key one is go.redirectgat.com. So the website that has the article wants you to be able to go to a street view, and the question in my mind is, why are they sending you through a third party when they could have put the link directly, like I do in the stuff under my videos? Like when I talk about going to a barbecue run, and I want to show you where the church is, if you take the link I put there, it brings up the Google Street View or map, Google Map, and shows you. I don't send you through somebody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, I just highlighted go redirectgat.com, Iris Total, that's a Google company. We're going to put in a URL. I'm just going to put in the name of that company, go redirectgat.com, and let's see what they say about it. Uh-oh. 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 Now remember, an extension prevented my browser from actually going there direct, following the link, and warned me. Now I could continue. One security vendor flagged this URL as malicious. Now, the fact that it came up that fast, now there's two community comments. Joe Sandbox Analysis, verdict clean, score 3 over 100. This is 2 years ago. Somebody else said it was clean. But why would I trust anything, any comment on here that's 2 years old? I'm teaching you. Pause. I was being reminded to take some medicine. I'm almost done. Now, last analysis date, 11 days ago. We can click reanalyze. Now, virus total is going to the robot, is going to send that out to all of the vendors that cooperate. And we're going to see if it's still, and they're actually going, their robots are actually going to go there and see if there's a problem. They say it won't take more than a minute. You know, when I first started using Virus Total, there were only like maybe 20 people who were involved. Why are there 9 comments on this? It's taking it some time, isn't it? What's going on? Join the VT community, enjoy an additional community insights and crowdsourced detections plus API key to automate checks. What are they offering there? I'll bet if that means in a business environment and you can program something that people inside your company, if they're about to click on a link, what it does is it automatically jumps to have this check it to make sure that they're not going to. Look at what they're doing. Okay, it's still now. Who is Kutera? I've never heard of them that I know of. I'm not promoting anything. I'm not regular. This is the first time I'm doing it. Kutera, website malware detection and protection, daily hacking attacks blocked. So they sell a product. So what happened with the Virus Total is I just took the domain name and Virus Total passed it to all these, and some of them are selling a product. So let's see what it is. Global leader in website security. Clean and protect your website from cyber attacks. Get the website malware monitoring and removal, uptime monitoring, distributed denial of service protection, blah, 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 blah. So they think there's something. They're willing to do what Virus Total did. Rescan for malware. This is the first time I've ever done this. So this is one of the robots, cooperators, waiting for free crawler. Okay, what's a crawler? Instead of me clicking on the link in my browser interacting with whatever that website thing is doing, they took that and their robot web browser is now interacting with that website, and then they're crawling around in it, the links in it and different things in it, to see if there's anything in there. Warning, malicious content detected. This is the first time I'm looking at this. I'm not promoting anything. Remove malware now. Now they used HTTPS. They've got the IP address. It's in the United States. Now here's the IP address they went to. And if I do something like this and I say ping, which is harmless, the site is live and answers. Not these guys, the one that's the redirector. And it says critical. See, it's got a speedometer here. It's blacklisted by them. It's blacklisted by Fish Tank. But Yadix, which is in Russia, says it's clean. Malware, all right, it says 7 clean files, external links detected 18. This is the first time I'm seeing something like this. Blacklisted links detected. So they went to their website and they crawled around, and on that website that's used to redirect, they found links that are bad news. And so they're blacklisting it. And they're saying that they just scanned it right now. Scan file analysis. Redirect test. Threat name is shttp redirect.gen in an ASCII file, a regular HTML file. Detected unconditional redirection. Detected unconditional redirection to that website. Threat dump. Okay, now these more specific details, they'll only tell you if you are using their product and paying them a license fee or usage fee. That's okay. That's okay. So should I go there? Should I say go there anyway? What do you think? What would you do? Now, the reason why this extension did this is because they use a certain, I've talked about this before, they use somebody else's list. Now it's showing the actual list, and if I were to go down this list, this is a list of all the places that they're ready to block on. Pretty extensive, don't you think? There's only 3,800 of them. Now, I'm going to try something. I don't want to go by way of the redirect robot at this, wherever that is, whoever the company is. The URL is, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it up to I'm going to take it all the way, and it's saying that /dot is asking for it. Now the point about this is that where I'm going now is to Google. And it's saying that it doesn't like a lot of it. Okay, now wait a minute. Hang on. Hang on. See, I'm exploring as I go. Here's where it says it's redirecting to. View, font, 24, makes it bigger. This is https:// They can encode it that way and the browser understands it. See, it's going to Google Maps. It's a place. All right? I don't understand the deluxe distribution. Now let's go back. Let's compare what I got when I said give it to me. The %2f means it's a way of encoding a slash. Now, watch what happens. Now this is an @ sign. So they both match. Watch. We'll make it bigger so you can see it. 7651, comma. It's close. All right? So if I do that, and I do that, now why did it do that? I'm learning as I go. Now, this is I'm going to go to Google search. Let's find out where this is. All right, I just learned something. There's apparently an address that's associated with whichever part of the spectrum network of where I'm originating from to go to the internet. Sometimes it's right around Asheboro, sometimes it's up in Liberty. Depends on how at any given moment my spectrum backbone is doing the routing. Now what did we just learn? When I did a Google search, one of the things that happened when I put in to ask where it, remember how I did it? It puts in where I am in addition to what I'm asking for. And I can guess why they do that. Because it may be, how can I get there? So instead of having to re-ask me where I am in order to give me routing, the way the browser works, the software works, is they include where they think I am as part of the request to bring up the Google Map, but they didn't bring it. So the beginning part of it was actually spying on me. And the actual part in San Francisco was later on in that long thing that the computer knows how to pick apart. So I got off the track in a certain sense. My mind is wandering. Instead of just sticking with this, and instead of just sticking with the search that I did, the intersection of these two streets in San Francisco. Now when I look up there, and it gives me a Google Maps return, it didn't do so good this time, huh? Oh, there's Mississippi Street. And, wait a minute. See, I'm straying off again. 17th Street. Here's 22nd Street. There's 20th Street. There's Mississippi. It dead ends there. The intersection of 17th and there it is. They only got me approximately in the neighborhood. Hang on. The corner we want is right there. But it doesn't want to go in on me. Hang on. Here's the street view. It's all really more complex than we realize, isn't it? Those computers have got higher IQs than you and me combined. What do you think of that? See this guy running across the street? That was in April 2017. There's a bicycle lane. It was there. The warehouse today doesn't have this covering on it. See how long the warehouse is? Warehouse district. This used to be a warehouse of some kind. You can tell by the building. And there was a guy there running across the street. It's a good thing Waymo didn't run him down in 2017. You can have fun online if you're willing to explore and let your toes get stepped on a little bit. And learn new things. Steve A. for you. So the question is, put it down in the comments. Only one vendor says it's malicious out of a whole long list. Would you have clicked to continue, letting the service that the Verve is hiring do it? Now, why would they go through another service? Would it be to track me? Would it be to shower advertisements on me and some pennies come back to me for using their redirection? Would that be a good way that hidden in those sudden pop-up ads? I'm guessing there could be malicious stuff that will invade my computer and that one of those guys was a good crawler and found it and says, don't go there. It's way over our head, yours and mine combined. Steve A. for you. Just having fun. Got to go take my meds. Saying see you in 73.